All right, so there is a trend towards using breathing data in your workouts. There's some new technology emerging, some existing technology, and some new chest straps for monitoring your breathing. So in Ride Cave, we've added support for this, and you can customize your views to include a few new things. Here we have a breathing chart and a HRV tachogram, which is actually, um, there may be some other devices for which you can pick this up as well, but it'll give you a live view of your HRV rating. I believe some Garmin devices send the RR interval data as well. Some of that remains untested, but nonetheless, that's there. And then for the breathing straps, we have the breathing chart, which I'll show in a moment. And of course, you can see what any of these do by clicking the info. And this will show your breathing rate and your liters per minute, which I believe they call minute ventilation. And then there's some new data here, which we have in breathing. And this is your breath rate, your minute ventilation, tidal volume, inhale exhale ratio, and the ventilation quad, which includes those details, some of those details, plus the 5-second and 60-second rolling ventilation averages. So we pack a lot into that particular one. And if these don't suit your needs, one additional change in this update is if you use the zone time distribution panel, you'll also notice now that heart rate zones are in that panel if you have a heart rate device attached. Okay, so if these don't meet your needs, all of these values are also available in the widgets and formulas. So if you create a new widget and you want to do sophisticated data calculations or surface your breathing data, you can do that here. So you'll be able to use the formulas and widgets to customize your experience around breathing data. And of course, you can do more sophisticated stuff than what we provide. Maybe you want to experiment with other calculations. You could do heart rate and breathing. You could do power, cadence, all sorts of things, and really dig into the data and make it more sophisticated. And so while you're riding, this is what the default view looks like. I'm using a simulator, so this data might not be perfectly representative of a real workout. Though you can see here the HRV data showing your heart rate variation between beats. You have your average, your high, your low, and your mean. The mean is the dashed line in the middle. We have our heart rate zones, if you have a heart rate attached. And then your breathing chart shows your liters per minute and your breathing rate. And then all of those data items I described, the inhale, exhale ratio, breathing rate, ventilation rate, your 5-second and 60-second averages, average inhale, and then liter per minute and breathing rate in real time. So some of this is redundant data and you might not have it all in one screen, but nonetheless that is breathing. And then one last thing, anytime you finish where am I trying? Okay, so anytime you finish a workout now, you'll see all of the more advanced data, including the heart rate zones now, your time and heart rate, and there's this new breathing and HRV tab. If you have a workout that has this data, it'll show up and you'll be able to see all the information from your workout. And there's some really pretty sophisticated charts here showing your data over time for your workout. Some of this is not entirely accurate because it was generated using a simulator, but this data will show up for you if you're doing it in real time. And of course, anywhere you see this information, you can always click them and they will open with information. And in this analysis, there's some additional data. For example, these things are like Tachyo ratings for heart conditions. It's not medical advice by any means, and it's probably not medically accurate, but it could give you some insight into the condition and behaviors of your heart.